Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 10 clones that smell really good and very close to some expensive niche fragrances on the market. This is a way for you to save money up front by purchasing the clones versus the originals, and they do smell quite close to the original. So I'm very excited to get on with this list, so make sure to stay tuned. Before I begin this video and I tell you about these 10 clone fragrances that are pretty inexpensive in comparison to the original and let you know how close I think they smell to the original, what they're an inspiration of, so on and so forth, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you like this type of content by the end of this review. So just go ahead and get on with this list. You'll see clones from a few different clone brands. And I guess we'll start off with the first one, which is Dossier. This one is called Original Vetiver. Now, I haven't done a video on this one yet, but this one is supposed to be their take on Bal d'Afrique by Byredo. Now, Bal d'Afrique is a fragrance that has been around for many, many years now. It's this really creamy vetiver fragrance, a little bit on the sweet side, but then there's also like this undertone of sweetness about it. Now, with the Byredo, it doesn't last a very long time on skin, and this one, I think in terms of the longevity, is actually comparable to the original, the only difference being that this one costs significantly less than the original. So, Original Vetiver is a really good alternative for Bal d'Afrique by Byredo, especially if you don't have a few $100 to spend on the original and you have just a few dollars. This one is definitely a really solid alternative for Bal d'Afrique. And kind of a funny thing is I've smelled it so many times throughout the years, I actually don't own a single Byredo fragrance, and I have a pretty big collection, but for some reason I never purchased a single Byredo. I like a lot of them: Pulp, Seven Veils, Mr. Marvelous, Super Cedar is also pretty cool as well, but Bal d'Afrique is probably one of the most popular ones. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is also by Dossier, and this is called Woody Sandalwood. Now, this is their take on Santal 33, and this smells really, really close to the original. Now, the one thing that I have to say is that with the original, it lasts such a long time on my skin, and I have owned the original for many, many years. I purchased the original many years ago. My wife wears it religiously. She absolutely loves it. And in the case of Woody Sandalwood, I would say this probably doesn't last as long as the original, but in terms of the smell, it comes very, very close. I've actually done a video on a couple of Zara fragrances that are supposed to be kind of a clone of Santal 33, and the smell is not too close. It's a pretty solid alternative, some of them, but the longevity is really, really poor. This one gives you much better longevity over the Zara fragrances that come close to smelling like Santal 33, which is why I would recommend this one any day over the Zara fragrances, which I've purchased as well. The next fragrance I want to talk about is by Dua Fragrances, and keeping up with that Le Labo theme, this one is another 13 shades. This is their take on another 13, and this is a very sort of musky, sweet, lactonic, coconut-like, aldehydic, synthetic fragrance. It contains only 13 ingredients. All of them are 100% synthetic. This was a collaboration that they did with another magazine. Again, the fragrance itself is many, many years old, but another 13 shades is Dua Fragrance's take on another 13 by Le Labo. Smells completely identical to it. And not only that, this lasts an incredibly long amount of time. So the thing with Dua Fragrances is they will always give you incredible longevity. I'm talking about 10 plus hours. The next fragrance also comes from Dua, and this is called The Unbreakable Vow. Now, this is their take on Promise by Frederic Malle, which is this really dark, spicy saffron, agarwood, nagarmoda kind of fragrance. Very rich smelling, very opulent smelling. It also lasts a very long time, and that's something that can be said not just about the clone, but also about the original. So this lasts a super long time, very complex, very deep, and kind of on the daring side. But if you are a fan of spicy, dark, agarwood based fragrances, you're gonna love this one. And I should also mention that Promise is one of their most expensive fragrances, if I'm not mistaken. I know a lot of those fragrances like The Night, Promise, they do go for a lot of money. The next fragrance is a clone of Aqua Viva by Perfume Roma. And that's a fragrance that lasts a very long time too, because Perfume Roma fragrances are concentrated at 40%. This one is called Aqua Solaris. This is one of the most natural lemon fragrances you'll ever smell. Same thing goes with the original. So it's very bright, very citrusy, super effervescent. If you are a fan of lemon-based fragrances, you got to check out Aqua Solaris. The next one is another Frederic Malle fragrance, and this one is Carnal Desire, and this is their take on Carnal Flower. And again, very intoxicating, very beautiful jasmine-based fragrance, and it's a little indolic as well. And whenever I smell indole in a jasmine-based fragrance, that's how I know that it smells pretty natural and pretty organic. And again, the way that they recreated it is really amazing. The next fragrance, I could have saved this for number one because this is probably one of the most popular fragrances out there, and that is, of course, Creed Aventus. Now, the fragrance that I really love that is a take on Creed Aventus is by Parfum Vintage, and this is Emperor Extrait. I had to read the label on the bottom because they have so many. And this one has a nice bit of the vanilla, the pineapple is in there, the birch, and this is a little bit on the sweeter side. They do make some that are like Beyond Noir, which is really, really smoky. But this one is a really nice balance of all of the ingredients. So I really enjoyed this one. If you're looking for a really solid, long-lasting, rendition of Creed Aventus, Emperor Extrait is personally my favorite from Parfum Vintage. And keeping up with that Creed bandwagon, if you're looking for a really solid clone of Viking, we have Scarlet Warrior by Dua Fragrances. So I picked this one up many, many years ago. I still have my bottle, and this lasts a very, very long amount of time. So this one is going to give you in the vein of 10 or 12 hours longevity. And this also has a very strong minty fragrance and a minty vibe that you're also going to get from Creed Viking. And so here I get that minty sensation right away, in addition to the citrus, which you're also going to get from the original Viking. And then another one that I love that I think you can probably tell I wore like 80% of my bottle. This is Bianca Pura, and this is their take of Creed Pure White Cologne. So Pure White Cologne has a ton of citrus. It's a little musky. It also has this rice note. So it smells a little clean and starchy, and it has a very unique aroma. My only thing is that Bianca Pura, while it doesn't smell exactly like the original, it comes like 95% close. This one also lasts a very long time. So if you're looking for solid longevity, Bianca Pura is going to deliver on that end. And the last fragrance that I want to talk about is by Armaf. And this one really, really caught me off guard. And Armaf has some really good fragrances. I know I've mentioned Trenuit in the past, which I purposely didn't include it in this video because I'm always talking about it. That's their take on Green Irish Tweed. And then, of course, you have Club de Nuit for men, which is their take on Creed Aventus. I've also mentioned that in several of my videos. But the one that I'm going to talk about today is Club de Nuit Sillage. This is their take on Creed's Silver Mountain Water. And they do such an awesome job with Club de Nuit Sillage. There's just something about this fragrance. It has that abstract vibe that you're also going to get from the original Silver Mountain Water. It's musky, it has that tea note, it has that inky note that you also get from Silver Mountain Water, a little bit of that black currant as well, but really, really long lasting, super solid fragrance. I'm a huge fan of Club de Nuit Sillage. If you have the opportunity to check this one out, please do, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by it. So There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. These have been 10 clones that I have in my collection that smell very close to some really expensive and really popular niche fragrances. If you own or have tried any of these clones or the originals, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to support this channel by subscribing to it. If you enjoyed this video and if you took something of value from this video, remember to give this video a thumbs up and make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell icon. Thanks again for watching. Love you all. We'll see you soon. Bye.